In this chapter Pricing Decision, we are going to learn about Introduction to Traditional Pricing Methods, Introduction to Target Costing Method, and Pricing Strategies.
So now, we will explain more about traditional pricing method.
Did you know? Traditional costing is a much easier way of determining the cost of a product since it relies on assigning average overhead rates. Under traditional pricing method, there are three ways to set up the price of their products or services. First, full cost plus method. Second, marginal cost plus. And lastly, minimum pricing. What is full cost method? It is a practice where the price of a product is calculated by a firm on the basis of its direct cost per unit of output plus a markup to cover overhead costs and profit. How to calculate full cost method? Total cost, which consists of variable cost and fixed cost, at a markup percentage in order to derive the price of the product. Since full cost already covered fixed cost, so the profit is 100%. This method is commonly used when
In the situations where products and services are provided based on the specific requirements of the customer. The method may also be used to set long-term prices that are sufficiently high to ensure a profit after all costs have been incurred.
Why company choose full cost method?
This is because it is simple. It means that this method is quite easy to determine a price of the product, since it is based on a simple formula. Other than that, this method is justifiable in cases where the supplier must persuade their customers of the need for a price increase. The supplier can show that its prices are based on costs and that those costs have increased.
However, there are few disadvantages of using the full cost plus pricing method. This method ignores price elasticity, which means the company may be pricing too high or too low in comparison to what buyers are willing to pay. Thus, it either ends up pricing too low or giving away potential profit, or pricing too high and achieving minor revenues. Besides, this method also ignores competition. A company may set a product price based on the full cost plus formula and then surprised when it finds that competitors are charging substantially different prices. When to apply this method? This method implies in technology industries such as smartphone and gadgets to set up their price of the product or services. This is because they want to get 100% profit to cover their cost of production. Who choose to employ this method in their company? Normally, smartphones companies are using this type of method. For example, Apple Incorporation. Let's take a look at the example of iPhone X. The total cost is 1,541 ringgit and 72 cents to produce a unit of iPhone X, but its final selling price is 4,159 ringgit and 84 cents. Price of the device is marked up by 170%, and this is how Apple makes its profit. What is marginal costing method? It is the practice of setting the price of a product at or slightly above the variable cost to produce it. This approach typically relates to short-term price setting situations. When to use this method?
This method usually arises in two situations, which is whether a company has a small amount of remaining unused production
capacity available that wishes to use, or a company is unable to sell at a higher price.
How to calculate using marginal cost method?
To calculate using marginal cost method, variable costs add markup to determine the selling price of a product.
Why company use marginal cost method?
The company use marginal cost method because of several advantages. First, it makes additional profit to the company. There will be customers who are extremely sensitive to price. This group might not otherwise buy from a company unless it was willing to engage in marginal cost method. A company can earn some incremental profit from these customers. Second, it is applicable for market entrance. If a company is willing to gain low profit in the short term, so it can apply marginal cost to enter into a market. However, it is more likely to acquire the more price which is sensitive customers by doing so.
Although there are advantages in this method, but the company also have to face some difficulties. One of the problems this method is completely unacceptable for long-term price setting, since it will result in prices that do not capture the company's fixed expenses. Besides, the company may face customer loss. If a company routinely engages in marginal cost pricing and then attempts to raise its price, it may find that it was selling to customers who are extremely sensitive to price changes and who will abandon it at once. Where to apply this method?
The marginal cost method usually implemented in travel industry. This is because the business under this industry depends on seasonal sales. For example, festive seasons, public holidays, and school holidays.
Who choose to employ this method in their company?
Business firms who apply marginal cost method are hotels, airlines, and resorts such as AirAsia Airlines and Hotels Malaysia. They must achieve minimum capacity to sustain a profit. For example, AirAsia makes a promotion especially for weekdays to sell their empty seat at lower price to gain some revenues instead of gain nothing.
Last but not least, we move to minimum pricing. What is minimum pricing method? It is the lowest price that can legally be set by the company. How to calculate using minimum pricing method?
Variable costs will be added with specific fixed costs and opportunity costs.
This method is useful when there is a lot of intense competition, surplus production capacity, and clearance of old stocks. Where to apply this method?
Normally, clothing industry will use this method when the specific season ends.
Who will apply minimum pricing method?
For example, Padini Holdings Berhad will reduce their selling price during clearance stock. The price for one blouse is 59 ringgit, but during sales, it will be reduced to 19 ringgit.
Why company use minimum pricing method? This is because it can increase their sales and stabilize their income, which leads to the increasing of investment.
However, there is some disadvantages using this method, which is the company may get lower profit and even suffer losses.
That's all from us. Thank you. Wait, it's not
not done yet. Let's do some exercise together.